Hi, my name's Elizabeth. I run a store on eBay called Fliz Flips. I've been reselling for about a year. It's a new year, so new goals. Last year was a great first year. I did about 25K in sales. So I hope you can join along and maybe we can learn and grow together and share and learn how to do this thing called reselling. So we are getting off the elevator at the storage unit, and I'm going to show everybody what the last year has brought as far as reselling for me. I'm new to this. I'm entering maybe my walking phase. I've been crawling, making some bad decisions, and ready to make some awesome changes in 2024. I've loved reselling. I love the community, and just kind of here to share my journey with you guys. And I'll be back in a minute to kind of show you around my space. So here we are at the lovely storage unit at the end of the hall. And I was going to show you guys my first unit that I have for reselling. It's jam-packed and dark back here, but I do have a light set up. Yay, there's the light. So like I said, I've been reselling for about a year. Just sort of happened on it and have really enjoyed it, and been watching everyone's videos, trying to learn what I can. Haven't set any really good groundwork or rules for myself. I've just kind of been winging it, and wanted to see how it would go the first year, and I felt like it was pretty good. However, I've ended up with a ton of stuff and not a lot of money in the bank for it. So this year my goal is to clear the clutter, make some goals for myself and my reselling, and hopefully I can build a little community that's also kind of in the same spot or doing the same thing. So let's look at the shed. So I have a ton of these totes. I've bought out a couple closets at estate sales, which was probably an absolute mistake, just because of the amount of stuff. I have just clothes on clothes on clothes. Pretty high end. Just haven't had time to deal with all of it. And then as we go towards the back of my shed, I have it 10 by 20, so the space is 10 by 20. You'll see I have boxes here. I only sell on eBay right now. I have sold some artwork on Etsy, and I'm familiar with that, but right now I'm just utilizing eBay. And then down this side, I have a rolling rack at the end that is listed like nicer hanging clothing. So yeah, tons and tons of stuff. And I have another shed that I will show you as well. One of the first things that I'm gonna do is clear off this shelf over here, which is more clothing and totes and lots of empty boxes, which just are a space sucker, as you may well know. So I'm gonna break down some of these, get rid of a few of them, and clear this space to do something different. Here I moved Mr. and Mrs. Santa, Snoring Santas. Up there I have 2 cherished teddy houses. That was another thing early on in my journey, that I bought an entire lot of cherished teddies. Haven't even listed it yet, so here it sits. There's a rug. I have this awesome vintage sealed Hawaiian sunset puzzle. What is that? Williams-Sonoma pan, VCR, Pyrex dish, Dolly Parton baking dish, and a couple totes with some bigger items. I think there's vintage CD holders in these, and like an old wedding cake topper. So I have yet another bag of clothes that I need to move, but the hangers are stuck to my wire shelving. So I'm just gonna have to get in there and take it all out by hand. So today I brought down some stuff that I have at home. I'm sure many of you know, like, the piles that start to develop like in the car and at home and everywhere else. So I am moving some stuff out of the house and bringing it down here to put it down here because one of my goals is to keep our house a house and the shed the workspace. So this is just a bunch of random, I think there's some vintage fabric, empty boxes. I have a little box of like jewelry, some postcards, some awesome little vintage miniature Christmas items. So kind of a hodgepodge of stuff. Like I said, just a mix of stuff from home that I'm trying to clear out of the way. So the other craziness that I have going on in this shed is packing materials like everywhere. So I have just sort of collected a hodgepodge of packing items, and now they're everywhere. So also gonna work on consolidating all of these packaging stuff into hopefully one place, and maybe even condensing some of it. Packing paper, which I usually save. Maybe today I'm gonna send it to the recycle. Okay, a couple of piles I'm gonna keep and break these down a little bit because they are really nice sturdy boxes. And some recycles. Bye-bye boxes. All right, so let's head on down. Woo, make everybody dizzy. The hallway here to the next shed. And it's this crazy corner unit with this tiny little door. So one of the other things that I want to work on this year is just my efficiency. Things that like cause road bumps or for me to slow down. And one of those literally is stuff in the way. So my goal today too is to clean the floor of all the stuff so I can at least walk easier, because time is money and jumping around boxes costs money. Do you ever feel like it gets worse before it gets better? Yeah, I think that's what the next few days is gonna be like for me. Another important thing to remember is bring breakfast when you come to the shed. My favorite: fruit, yogurt, chia seeds, hemp seeds, walnuts. It's kind of a hodgepodge mix. Cheers. Hey guys, sorry about the terrible camera angle. I am less than an amateur at all of this. Now I'm gonna work on clearing the floor so I can move around here easier. All right, so I mentioned earlier that I have more than one shed. I have sheds. Luckily, they are all on the same floor, making it easy to kind of maneuver stuff around. One of the goals is actually to eliminate one of 3 sheds by the end of this year, or I'm sorry, by the end of this month, and get our 3rd shed Hopefully we can get a slightly larger size. The reason is we also do crazy Christmas lights and have to store those outside of our home. So we kind of want to do a joint thing with storing our Christmas stuff and maybe just a little more space for my eBay venture. So lots of moving around, which is a big waste of time, but hopefully in the end we will have some better efficiency. Here is where I am at with shed number 2. It is pretty full. I have a second hanging rack for nicer garments that I don't want to fold or put in a box. In here we still have some Christmas decorations that need to move down the hall, and the rest of this is pretty much eBay stuff. And I had mentioned in another at another moment that I had bought out 2 closets from estate sales. So women's clothing, one was a little bit higher end and one was some really awesome plus size clothing. So I'm currently in the process of going through all of that and picking what I want to keep and sell and what is probably just going to go to donate. So my goal in this shed today is really just to get some of the stuff out that I had in the other shed that was kind of like stuff, which is clothing. And I had a couple things or a couple totes at home that I wanted to get out of the house because we're also trying to separate our house from our eBay, which is quite the challenge, as you may know. So not a lot of work to do specifically in here today, other than to make some space in a couple other places by bringing some clothing down here. My top number 1 worst habit in the last year is not noting where I put stuff. So when it sells, I have to try and go off of my memory as to where I put it. And I know this is gonna make some people scratch their heads or scream or whatever. So yes, this is a top goal of mine this year, is how I inventory, how do I categorize. It's definitely it's going to be a work in progress. I do have somewhat of a system now where I have numbered boxes, and I also have some boxes of sort of like items, like maybe it's all men's t-shirts, for example. But the problem is sometimes I might put a Christmas thing in a home decor thing and I think it's in Christmas, and then I spend all this time going to look for it. So I have that today, where I have 2 items that sold. They've been listed for quite a while. One is a Christmas ornament and one is 4 little bowls. So I am going to time myself and see how long it takes me to find them, and can I find them? So here I go. So it's been almost 7 minutes. I've been looking for the one ornament, still haven't found it. So I am going to stop and restart the timer and look for the second item. And hopefully we have not 2 missing items, just 1 missing item, and hopefully the 1 item turns up. This is embarrassing. Okay, so it's been another 6 minutes. I was looking for the second item that I sold. So now I have an ornament and these bowls that are both MIA. I've looked everywhere in the shed. So what I'm gonna do is go home and look in a couple places there and cross my fingers that that's where they are. And hopefully I don't have to cancel these orders. Again, this is embarrassing. And this is the honest, hard stuff about eBay, is that there are definitely mistakes made along the way. And the best thing to do is learn from it and grow from it and move on.